Hello and welcome to video number 6, and we're going to talk about a real life example, which is a funnel specifically for abandoned carts. Now, what do I mean by that? Basically, when somebody goes to an e-commerce store, for example, and they browse through the store and they add a bunch of things to their cart, and then they land on the add to cart page. Now, a lot of people may purchase, but then some people may go to the add to cart, and for whatever reason, it might be the price, it might be something that they're just not willing to move forward. So in this case, we want to be able to track every part of the step of the funnel, from the beginning to adding the cart to the purchase. And then basically what you want to do is you want to create a custom audience telling Facebook, hey, okay, anybody who lands here and lands here but does not land here, let's add them to a custom audience. So I've created a mind map here, and if you haven't watched the video before this video where I show you where to add the pixels, then I highly recommend that you go back and watch that video. Now, as you can see here, I've created a really basic mind map. So whether you have an e-commerce store or even a sales page, let's say, for example, that you're selling a digital product, an ebook or a video course, and somebody lands on the initial page. So what you want to do is you want to create a view content standard event. And if you watched the video before, that's where I showed you exactly how to create the code. Now, what I can do here is I can pull this notepad up here. And as you can see, this code right here has the view content. And we have this code right here, which is the lead. But in our case, we can do add to cart. So add to cart. So capital A, lowercase dd, capital T, lowercase o, capital C, and then lowercase art. So add to cart, you want to have that like this right here. And then of course you want to have the third pixel, which is a purchase. So we want to copy that and then change where it says add to cart, you want to change that to purchase. So capital P, lowercase urchase. And that's it. So now what we want to do is we want to go to ClickFunnels, go to lead pages, go to your website, and you want to copy that code to the header. So like I said, if you haven't watched the video before this, you need to, because I go over that process. So this right here is the first page, and this is the view content. And if they click add to cart, they get to the order page. Now, bear in mind that most shopping cart systems online will generally allow you to add some sort of tracking pixel on the order page. Now, if they don't allow that, then there is kind of a workaround, but I'm going to talk briefly about this. I'm not going to go into it too much because I don't want to make it too complex. But if there is no option to put an add to cart right here on the order page, then you can use a tracking program. It's called clickmeter.com. Clickmeter.com. And if you go there, basically the site allows you to create tracking URLs. So you can take a URL, let's say for example this page. You can take that URL and then you can create a tracking link. And within that tracking link, you can embed the add to cart pixel code. So let's just put this down on paper here. So if there is no option to put the Facebook pixel add to cart on the order page, then you can use ClickMeter. ClickMeter basically takes the URLs and it allows you to embed a Facebook pixel code. So this is kind of a workaround because, back in the day when this wasn't offered, you just couldn't put anything, use that. But ClickMeter enabled that option, which is very, very convenient, especially if pages don't allow you to put the tracking code on their page. And that can be the case for some payment processors or even shopping carts. Okay, so that's the basis of it. And then, of course, we have add to cart, and then we have purchase. And then, like I said, you have these 3 pages. So 1, 2, and 3. Now you want to basically create a custom audience that says, if somebody lands on this page, so kind of think of some logic here. If then this happens. If somebody lands on here, which everybody lands on here, and then some people click on add to cart, and for whatever reason they decided not to go here, we want to add them into custom audience. And the reason why is custom audience is basically a segment of people who have taken a certain action. So you can say, okay, people who have landed on this page, but they have not landed on this page, let's put them into a segment. And then whenever you do your ads in the future, you can say, okay, so anybody who's in this custom audience, let's show them this discount coupon. So for whatever reason, you'll see a lot of companies will use abandoned cart discounts. So if somebody added to this, but they haven't purchased, a lot of the reason could be price. So you could give them a 10% off coupon, and you can do it via here. Now, we're not going to get down deep into the Facebook ads or anything like that, because this course is all about tracking in pixels. But the bottom line is most of you will have a page or pages, and then you'll have add to cart, and then you'll have purchase. Now you might be thinking, okay, what's the difference between this and the next video where we talk about the purchase funnel? The next video we're going to talk about, okay, after they purchase, what can you do next? Maybe we want to show an ad specifically to people who purchased. Or how do we figure out what they purchased if we have multiple products kind of thing? All right, so with that said, let's move on to the next video. Hello and welcome back. This is video number 7, and we're going to pick off where we left off. This is basically the purchase funnel. And like I said, the main difference is that this is a little bit more complex. The abandoned cart is kind of the first step. All right, so with a purchase funnel, it's basically, it could be an e-commerce store, it could be a sales page. For whatever reason, it could be whatever you want. You're just selling something. So they land on this initial page, which we talked about, the view content, and then they get sent to the add to cart. If they, land on the add to cart, but they don't land on the purchase page, then we can create a custom audience. Like I said, if there's no option to embed the Facebook pixel onto the order form, there's a workaround by using ClickMeter. So I'm going to put clickmeter.com just to clarify that a little bit. There we go. So what happens after the purchase? Well, many of you, depending on what you're selling, you could upsell them. You could offer a one-time offer. So you want to be able to track all of that. So we could say purchase, and we'll call this maybe the front end purchase. And for the sake of the standard event, we're just going to list it as purchase, the initial purchase. All right, so the next thing we have is the one-time offer, all right, or the upsell, the same thing. So we're going to do one-time offer. Now, bear in mind, I briefly went over this, but basically with Facebook pixels, when it comes to the standard event, you can use what Facebook gives you, but you can also use your own keyword. But you just need to make sure that you know what that keyword is, all right? So we could name it OTO1. And if you have several funnels, you might want to name it something related to that funnel. But for the sake of simplicity, we're just going to say OTO1. And I'm going to bold that so that you know that's a standard event. So we could do that. And maybe we want to figure out, okay, how many people purchase the front end offer, but they don't purchase the one-time offer? So if they made a purchase of the front end offer, which is the offer that they're aware of, the one-time offer is basically an offer that they are not aware of, but it's a really good deal that they're going to want to take up upon because they're going to save a lot of money. So this is the one-time offer, and you can add one-time offer 2, one-time offer 3, and you can get more complex with that. But basically, let's say we want to figure out who purchased both, whereas who purchased one or the other. So everyone who's at this point is going to purchase the front end purchase. So what we want to do here is we want to create a custom audience. So let me scroll over here so that you can see it better. So we want to create a custom audience and say, whoever purchased this but did not purchase this, let's put them in a custom audience. All right. And we can also say, anybody who has purchased this and this, put them into a custom audience. Now, how do we do that? Well, we can do that with the pixel code by naming it the standard event, purchase, and then OTO1. So what we want to do here is we can create a custom audience. So they land on the purchase page. Now, basically what you want to do is you want to get the URL and you want to put that into the custom audience. So they land on the purchase page, but do not land on one-time offer 1. So in that case, basically they purchased the front end offer, but they haven't purchased the one-time offer for whatever reason. So we could put that into a custom audience, and then we can thereby do a retargeting campaign and retarget them for this offer. Or we can also make a different custom audience. And this is a really good way to kind of segment your high premium customers, or the ones that buy pretty much everything in your funnel, versus the people who have not. So you could advertise something like premium material to this specific audience here. So for this one, they landed on both the purchase front end and the OTO1. So I'm just showing you kind of a secret here of figuring out who your premium buyers are, because if they purchase this one and this one, it's a very high chance that they trust you and they want more from you and they're willing to buy more from you in the future. So these could be kind of your specialists where you give them a discount, or this one too. So basically, this is a way to create custom audiences. So that's the purchase funnel event, and that's what you need to do to track every step of the way. So as a recap, quickly, we got the first view content page, we have the add to cart page, we have the purchase page, and then we have the one-time offer page. And then if you want to get all fancy and you want to create the custom audiences, you can. But you basically take this and you want to add the pixel code to the header, which is what we talked about in video number 5. All right, so with that said, let's move on to the next video. Hello and welcome to video number 8, and in this video we're going to talk about the lead form funnel. So basically this funnel is great for anyone who's doing something like consulting, coaching, service-based businesses, or anytime somebody needs to fill out a form so that you can qualify them and maybe get them onto booking a call with you or your salesperson or whoever. So what you want to do is you could send them directly to the form if you want to, but this is a time-tested funnel. And what I mean by that is this funnel works if you set it up. Obviously, there's no guarantees, but this is actually based on a real-life funnel. So what you have here is you have a pre-sale page. And the goal of this page is kind of to warm up your leads, because most of the time, some of these leads don't even know you or have never heard of you before. So this pre-sale page could have maybe a short video or really good content that would warm them up. So this would be the view content standard event. Now the next form is when they click, fill out this form, and then they land on the form. So if they fill out the form, so this is the form here, and there are actually many different form websites, but one in specific that we have used before is called wufoo.com. That's WUFOO.com. Kind of a funny name, but basically it's a platform, a software system that allows you to set up forms. Now what's nice about it is it does allow you to enter a tracking code. So you can do that. You can create the standard pixel, the standard event, and name it form, so that anytime you know that somebody lands on this page, they landed on the form. It does not necessarily mean that they filled out a form. We need to have a next step to do that. So the next step is whatever page that they are forwarded to. So a lot of times after you fill out a form, they get presented with a page or a message that says, thanks for filling this form out. You want to send them here. So that would be that page. And you basically want to put a standard event, pixel code, on that page, and you can name it lead. So anytime we look into our Facebook ads and we see leads, that means the people who have filled out the form fully to the extent of landing on the next page. Now, you could just end it there if you want to, or you can further automate the process. And let's say you're a coach or you're a consultant and you want to get people onto a call. Now, obviously, you can get them to fill that information here, but we found that what works better is to get them to book the call at the moment. Because if you have to contact them and do all of that, they're going to forget. And because you're on Facebook, most people on Facebook, they're not looking to necessarily buy. They're looking to have fun. So they're going to switch back into that mindset. So you want to make sure that you get them on your calendar and have them book an appointment right away. Now there's a system called Calendly. That's Calendly. And we can put a standard event. We can put the text call. And that would basically tell us that anyone who's listed under that, let's say we got 20 calls or 22 calls, we know that they went through the whole funnel. Now, you could create custom audiences, kind of like the purchase funnel, and say, okay, people who have visited this page, but they have not visited any of these pages. Let's retarget them and get them to fill out the form. You can create a custom audience next after this and say, okay, anybody who has filled out this form, but they have not booked a call, let's do another custom audience and do a retargeting campaign to remind them to book a call. So anyone who lands on here, you can create a different custom audience and maybe warm them up with really good content. And basically what you're trying to do is you're trying to move people through the funnel to complete the funnel. So it really depends on what you're trying to do. So for example, if you're a plumber, maybe you just want to send them to the pre-sale page and the fill out a form, and that's it. So you would have 3 pages. If you're a consultant or a coach, you might want to do all of these right here, or you're selling some sort of high ticket service item. You could do all of these here. So this is kind of just an option, but you definitely want to have these 3. So again, you want to take this, so it's view content, form, lead, and call. So you have view content up here, and basically you would just change this keyword here, the view content. So you copy and paste that, change the view content to form, to lead, and to call. Now you can change it to whatever you want to, but just bear in mind that you need to remember what that is. So with that said, that is the lead form funnel. We're going to talk about how you can test that your pixel is active. So that's the big question, is have we actually done it right? Let's move on to the next video. Hello and welcome back. This is video number 9. This is how to test your pixel is active. So this is a very crucial step, a very important step of the process, because you want to make sure that before you run any ads that you have properly placed your pixels. So how do we do that? We do that by simply downloading a Chrome extension, which is free, called Facebook Pixel Helper. And what that does is it detects whether you have a pixel on the specific page that you're looking at. So let's say, for example, the funnel has 3 different pages. We can go to those 3 different pages and see what Facebook Pixel Helper is telling us. So it'll tell us, whether it can see the view content or the add to cart or the purchase code and all of that. So you want to go to Google, type in Facebook Pixel Helper, and you want to choose the one at the top that says Facebook Pixel Helper, Google Chrome. If you click on this link, you'll be sent to this page. And as you can see, this is kind of an example of what you would see. So if you go to a page, it would say a pixel is found. So go ahead and click Add to Chrome. So as you can see already, I have it in my Google Chrome extension library. So whenever you visit a site, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit, but you can see in the far right-hand corner this grayed out icon. The way it works is whenever you visit a page, this will light up and it'll turn green. And if you click on it, you'll actually be able to see the pixel code number as well as the standard event. So let's go ahead and go to a page and do a test. Okay, so in this example, I have gone to clickbank.com, which is a site and a marketplace where you can find a lot of digital products. Now, if I click on this here, so if we zoom in, you can see that the Facebook Pixel Helper has turned from gray to a blue color, and it has the number 3. Now, if we click on it, you can see that it says 1 pixel has been found. It tells you the pixel ID, and it says page view. So if we click that, we can see it's in green and it works. Now, if you go to your pages and you see page view and view content, then you're good to go. Or if you go to, let's say, the add to cart page and you see page view and add to cart, that means that you have successfully implemented that pixel on that page. So this basically allows you to see whether or not you did it correctly. And if you did it correctly, that says that you are now ready to start running ads. So congratulations, you've reached the end of this course, and that's it. Go ahead and take action and start implementing your pixels in your funnels so that way you can start seeing what is happening in your funnel.